Welcome, everyone. Today, I am thrilled to be able to introduce to you my friend, Becky. And Becky has had some incredible results using our iTeraCare wand. And she was so, courageous, if you will, to come on and share some of and this is just only a small part of the results that she's already seen by getting and using this iTeraCare blower. So today I want to introduce to you Becky. Becky is a brilliant healer. First of all, I just love to call her just a healer because she's so well-rounded. She is definitely a massage therapist. That was where she came from. She's a Reiki master. She's into aromatherapy. She does sound healing. She really uses all kinds of tools just so that when her clients come into her clinic in her studio, they feel wonderful. She uses all kinds of tools to really raise the energy and the frequency. So when she was introduced to the iTeraCare wand by another friend who's also into healing frequencies and all these same types of things, she went. And Becky said, and I looked at some of the testimonials, I was like, oh my gosh, right? She's usually somebody who has to research, but she just knew because she's really connected. She just felt she had to just get this. She just knew. And she was able to get the wand and begin. So Becky's going to begin sharing some of her results. And actually, guys, we're going to start. She'd like to start by sharing some pet testimonials first, and then we'll move on to some people. So welcome, Becky. Thanks again for sharing. And all right, so you get the wand, you wand the water, and where do you start?
Thank you so much for having me, Renee. So this was a situation where I ordered the wand thinking, I'm just going to use this on myself and my family members, and we'll see what happens and go from there. And it turned out that we had a family member with a sick cat who was diagnosed with lymphoma right off the bat. And I have been researching and reading about terahertz frequency with cancer cells. And I spoke with my family member and I said, well, obviously, I can't guarantee anything, but would you like to try this? And they said yes, because the cat was only given 1 to 2 months left to live. And with the lymphoma, unfortunately, he had been having digestive issues for a long time where he was throwing up and had loose stools for quite a while and just not healthy at all. So we began with the wanded water, and we were very lucky because the cat did not seem bothered at all by the sound of the wand. So we were able to start off on just a low setting. And for 2 weeks straight, I went over every day. We did a little treatment on the cat, and we started noticing he was returning to his playful side, having more of his personality coming through. We backed it off to me wanding every other day. And then we noticed after 5 weeks, no more throwing up. His stools have actually, for the first time in years, become normal again. So it's now been 3 months since his initial diagnosis, and the vet had said 1 to 2 months left to live. So of course, none of us know when our time is up, but we're very, very grateful for those results. So that was exciting.
Wow, that's fabulous. Fabulous. Yep. And I know that's not the only cat testimonial you have. So that was the first one, which is amazing.
Yep. So I have a cat of my own who has had allergies for years now. He licks and scratches and has licked all of the hair off of his whole underside. He's just been bare skinned for about 1.5 years now. We went through homeopathic remedies. We went through supplements. We tried different foods. We would end up back at the vet at least once a year to give him a steroid injection because the itching was just so bad and it was awful. So he does not like the sound of the wand. So I have not been able to directly use the wand on him, but he has solely been drinking the wanded water. And we noticed after 2 weeks of drinking the water that his hair started coming back in again. Wow. So we've now had the wand about 2.5 months, and his belly is completely covered with hair. So that was amazing.
So awesome.
So
just
happy
from the water. That water is powerful. It really is. When we hydrate and we give our bodies that beautiful healing water, It's just amazing.
It is.
So yeah, you guys, if you have a wand and you have pets, give them the wand and water. There's no telling what kind of healing we can get. So
Yep,
beautiful. All right, let's move on. I believe that you have some hubby stories.
I do.
Tell
So
me.
my husband was the big skeptic with this device, and when we first turned it on, he was like, "This sounds like it's a blow dryer." So I thought he was going to be a little bit harder to see results with, but we saw something with him within 2 weeks. So he has been a carpenter his whole life, works with his hands and with tools every day. He had developed trigger finger in his index finger of his dominant hand. And because he uses it every day, it's just never been able to heal. So after 2 weeks of wanding and drinking the water, he came in and told me that he could now make a fist, and he made a full fist with his hand for the first time in over a year. So that was
Oh, very good. I love that he was a skeptic and still got a result. So we know
yes,
with the wand, right, that intentionality and saying I'm healing, and there's definitely something to that from a manifestation standpoint, but the frequency worked anyway, right?
yeah.
So on the one hand, I like to say it's not a belief system, it's frequency, right? There is that where you can enhance it with the other, but it didn't matter.
Sure.
But I believe that's not the only thing now that's happened for him, is it?
No. So just recently, his wrists were bothering him, and he has had a ganglion cyst on his wrist for 10 years. Was told don't bother having it removed, it will just grow back. So it's just something he lives with. And he was rubbing his wrists the other night, and he was looking, and he's like, "My cyst is gone." And I said, "What?" And he just kept feeling for it, and it's not there, it's just gone. So didn't even take a
Wow.
before picture because we didn't know that was going to happen. So
Wow. And
I said,
then what happened from there?
I said to him, I said, "Oh, he has a very large lipoma right in the center of his chest that he hates. It's just very large. It protrudes out of his chest, and he's super self conscious about it." So I said, "We should wand your lipoma in the middle of your chest." So we went into the living room, and he lifts his shirt and he said, "Oh my God." And I said, "What?" He said, "Touch it." And it had been hard as a rock. And I touched it, and it was soft and mushy, and it was already half the size of what it had been before. So he's continuing with wanding it and on purpose now.
Yeah, so
So
now he's not quite as much of a skeptic, right?
yeah.
But Becky, this is something that I just want to share with people too. And this is such a perfect example. And that is so many of us are struggling with a very specific health condition. And we get the wand, and our intentions are to heal that one thing, right? But the body is so brilliant, and the body has its own, I just call it priority of healing. The body's going to heal it from what it feels is the most important, and then just keep healing. And it's how so much of frequency healing works. So we're so focused on, am I getting a result on this one thing I'm looking for? And sometimes it can take a while. While if we were really focused on noticing what else is happening, because the body's healing all different things, things that we didn't even anticipate that we aren't noticing, like that, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, when did that happen? And it's just so much fun, because then it's just like confirmation. Okay, now I can keep going. Something's happening. So I just
Yep.
love that. I love it. I love that.
Yeah,
And
that
so
was
you've
great.
also had situations with other family members, like brother-in-laws and stuff. You want to share some of those?
Yep. My brother-in-law had plantar fasciitis, and he's a golfer. So I said, let's give it a try. We did 2 treatments on him. He returned from golfing and said, "I just have to tell you, my pain is 90% gone." He said, "It's not 100." He said, "But it's 90." And he said, "And I'm not limping anymore." And I had a great golf game. That was fantastic.
Oh, for a golfer? That's it. And
Yeah.
plantar fasciitis is painful and can take
Yes.
up to a year to heal.
Yep.
Two
Oh yeah.
treatments.
I've had a lot of clients that have suffered with that for many months. Yeah.
Yep. Two
Um,
treatments. And then you had the next
my
relative.
other brother-in-law had tendonitis in his arm, and same thing, 2 treatments, and it was completely gone. No pain whatsoever.
That's just amazing. Oh my God, I love it. All right. And so
Crazy.
now let's get to you, right?
Okay.
Tell me about you, Becky. What happened?
So I have done massage therapy for 23 years now, and it has been many, many years of me looking down. And unfortunately, when it comes to self-care, I'm always the one taking care of everybody else and not real good about taking care of me. So my neck has developed stenosis and I have really bad arthritis. And it's gotten so bad in the last few years that I wasn't really able to turn my head. When I would turn to talk to someone or look at something, I would have to turn my whole body. And I would see friends of mine that I hadn't seen in a while, and they would say, "Oh, you poor thing, did you hurt your neck?" So it was very obvious to everyone around me that my neck was not in good shape. So I felt this was just going to be a progressive thing that would never get better. I might be able to maintain where it's at, but didn't know what it would bring. But anyway, I have been going to the same hair girl for 8 years now, and I couldn't tell you how many years it's been. But when I go over to the sink bowl to have my hair washed, I have not been able to lay back into that little crook in the sink. I hover above it because my neck is just so stiff. And I'm just kind of like this, hovering over the
Right.
sink. And so at the end of August, at this point, it had been about 5 weeks I was using the wand, but very sporadically on myself. I was mostly just drinking the water. Went to get my hair done. Time for her to rinse my hair. We go over to the sink. I'm in the middle of a story and I'm busy talking. And she's listening and she says, "Have you been using this wand on your neck?" And I said, "A little bit, not too much." And she said, "Do you realize that your neck is touching the sink right now?" And it was one of the most profound moments for me that still it makes me emotional because I never thought my neck was going to get better. So I just returned to her again for the second time last week. And this time I really savored the moment and felt it. And I just laid there and she took a picture for me because it
Oh,
was so, for me, miraculous to actually be able to put my head back and feel the sink under my neck
oh,
was
Becky.
amazing.
And
So,
let's talk about this for just a second, because I know you have another one that's just amazing too. Um, is our belief system. I've
mm,
been really working on myself as well and just noticing all the limiting beliefs that I have that are just so insidious in my mind that we really have to take time to really inquire about. For example, oh, this is just going to keep progressing, right?
mhm,
My neck's never going to get better. And when we have something chronic that's like that, it just keeps reinforcing that belief. And
yeah,
so there you were, the emotion can come when it's like, wow, I just blew through that belief. I believed one thing and now
yes,
this is shifting my belief system, right? And then it's like, well, if that's a
absolutely.
possibility, what else can happen? What other possibilities are there
Yes,
when we turn this on? And now the
yes.
world opens up like, wow, right? The healing possibilities are just remarkable.
That is
So,
exactly what happened. I
right?
feel like my mindset is now, okay, what's next?
Next, right. It's so exciting.
It's
Um,
very
so tell me now, you had one other experience that was really profound as well.
yes. So I, because of doing massage for so many years, I wore out the cartilage in my thumb joint and I was bone on bone and I was having pain before the pandemic hit. I opened up my practice 3 months before in January of 2020 is when I
Oh,
opened my own practice. I had been working in a spa and decided to go on my own. And I was dealing with the pain. And I think it was because I was so active and constantly using my hands, I could just kind of force my way through it. Well, when we shut down for the pandemic and I was no longer active, my hand just blew up and was in severe pain. So I had to have a thumb joint replacement that was supposed to be a 6 week recovery and enable me to come back to doing massage again. And unfortunately, it did not heal correctly and I had a lot of scar tissue and another joint blew up. So
oh,
I, for 2 years, was home, which was not great for me mentally. And so thankfully, I brought myself to a place, I think just through sheer will, to be honest with you, where I was able to return to my practice this past May. And then that is another thing that I'm focusing on with the wand. I have to be careful because I do have a metal implant down in this part of my hand.
Right.
But this is the straightest that my thumb has been since I had my surgery. It was like that. So it's still not perfect, but the improvement that I'm seeing and the flexibility, I could not
Wow.
do that just a few months ago. I was not able to do that. So I
Wow.
have my neck and my thumb are probably my two main areas that I'm focusing on, and I'm very excited to see continued progress with that now.
That's amazing. And for any of you who are also massage therapists, listen, we know it is so challenging physically, and to be able to have a tool in your tool chest for self-care, but then for other people. We
Yeah.
highly recommend if you're a massage therapist, I'm going to put all the information down here in description where you can contact Becky. If Becky, by the way, her practice is outside of Buffalo in a town called Hamburg. Did I get it right? Hamburg? I was
Yeah.
going to say
Yeah.
hamburger, but it's Hamburg outside of Buffalo. Please contact her. Contact information's there. And especially if you are also a massage therapist and are interested in adding this to the practice, please do. As I know now, Becky is starting to work on her clients, and they are just blown away by it, by how great they feel, the relaxation, to put that heat and frequency in and then massage. You just won't believe the difference in that, right?
Honestly, I've added a lot of tools into my practice, and this just took it to a whole new level of healing. It is so profound and so perfectly in alignment with everything else that I do, but just a very powerful healing technology, and the results are just amazing. My clients have all, I think they just want to go to sleep on the table, when we're done with it. Just so relaxing.
And that's what we need. We
Mhm.
cannot heal until we relax, we sleep, we breathe. We cannot relax. We've got to get that nervous system out of fight or flight. And
Mhm.
this absolutely will do it. So, Becky, to end this, you said something to me beforehand that was mighty profound about when you turned it on. And listen, we're all coming out of COVID. We have so much PTSD from it, so much depression and anxiety. And you said something to me that I think is the perfect thing for us to end today. So I'm just going to let you share that part with everybody. What did you notice?
Yeah, I felt that I was suffering from a low level of depression during the 2 years that I was home during the pandemic. I was in so much pain after my surgery, and pain is a very debilitating thing. And normally my toolbox of mindfulness and meditation and yoga and everything that I used to do, I didn't even want to do it. I had no desire to do anything because I was in so much pain. So I did not think I would be returning to my massage practice, which really, um, when you feel something is your life purpose, and then you're told that you can't go back to it, it just devastated me. So I really lost my light, and the most profound thing, my neck and my hand, those are physical things that are fantastic and amazing. But for me, the most profound part of using this wand has been the energy or the lifting of that dark place that I was
Mm.
in. And I shared on Facebook, I found my smile again because I
Ah,
feel my light has returned, and I can now share that with other people. And that for me is probably, I think, the most important of all. So,
perfect. I could not agree with you more. It works on physical level, emotional level, and spiritual level. It really does work on all three levels. And so again, when we think about that and we open up the healing possibilities, they're just endless.
Yes.
Becky, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share this. And you guys, I have a feeling we're going to be back seeing Becky some more. And I have a feeling she's going to be able to share some amazing additional stories for her clients and for herself. So once again, thanks, Becky.
You are very welcome. Thank you.